It's all about newbies this week. Wayne Martin has never owned a rifle. The young grasshopper heads to Tim Pilbeam's place to learn the moves.
I thought it was atrocious, but
On another range, not very far away, Terry has a new Padawan. Instagram's Mr. Shotgun, Dan Thor, studies airguns with Jedi Master Doe.
These things will bring you instant success, but they get you into bad habits.
Fieldsports membership now with insurance. We have a top tip from Ian Jensen.
A lot of people will keep things in there of value because it's the biggest, strongest place in the house.
And Kayak Bryn is using a Vacpack kit to store the salt venison we showed him making last time. David brings you the news from the news stump, and James puts together the latest YouTube hunting films in this week's Hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Last year, Wayne showed us just how good he is with a shotgun, bolting rabbits on Gotland in Sweden. He did so well that the guys from 8 Point invited him to attend their academy. They could see the potential and a skill set that would translate from the shotgun to the rifle.
Today's come about really from being invited to the Aim Point Academy, which is about 3 weeks' time, 2 or 3 weeks' time. So I wanted to sort of get a bit of a head start today, down here with yourself and Tim, get a bit of range time and sort of get more familiar with the rifle before turning up there completely cold.
The thing is, Wayne has never owned a rifle, so this will be a whole new shooting and hardware owning experience.
So this for me is transitioning from shotgun into a rifle, but you know, with dynamic style. I'm not really into stalking as in high seats, scopes, things like that. It's still a shotgun style of shooting, but with a rifle. I've got one bullet, you know, so I need to be so much more precise, I think. It's going to take a lot more practice than what it will with a shotgun.
Okay, but that's something I imagine you'll enjoy getting involved in.
Exactly, yeah, that's why it sparks my interest. It really does. It's the precision of things and the technical things that really interest me.
As Mr. Martin likes to be prepared, we've arranged a morning's rifle training with Tim before he flies out to the academy training in Scandinavia. It's not just about hitting a moving target, it's learning how to set up and maintain a rifle.
We've got the rifle out of the box.
Yeah.
What do we need to do before we can fire it? Do we need to strip it down, clean it, oil it? What do we do from here?
What we probably do actually is we'll give it a quick clean internally.
Right.
Yeah? And then I'll probably just go through as to what we do, how you kind of shoot in a rifle.
Yeah.
Basically, you've got to shoot in this barrel. So I'll probably go through it with you before you actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because you probably find the accuracy will vary quite a bit from straight out the box.
Right.
So that's come off a production line. So we've got to take it through a bit of a journey, because as the bullets are pushed down through the barrel, things happen. So we need to make sure this barrel's actually kind of shot in some ways.
Okay, so how many shots do you think that will take?
It varies an awful lot.
Right.
So it could be perfect from the get-go, or you could take 10, 20, 100 shots.
Really?
It varies an awful lot.
Wow.
So anyway, so we can go through that anyway. But yeah, I mean, look at that.
That's beautiful.
Nice bit of wood.
Yeah.
They always feel very, very light.
It did, yeah, that's what I was amazed at.
Maybe kind of just under 2 kilograms, 5 pounds perhaps,
Yeah.
whatever, but very, very light. But by the time you start bolting stuff on it, and the beauty about putting the aim point on is a very, very light sight. So
Yeah.
that the rifle, you always find with the kind of small optics, they're just lovely. You haven't got this huge, great scope on the top, and you know, it's just a nice rifle. And also you've got a really nice dinky moderator as well. So
that's a dinky one, is it?
Yeah, yeah, very, very small.
Right.
So it's a very, very compact unit, which is perfect for
driven.
For driven ball. So or for just driven shooting anyway, moving targets.
Awesome.
So I think what we need to do is get it on the gun bench here and start just building it up anyway. So
yeah,
good start. Looks lovely, doesn't it?
It looks beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, nice short barrel as well. Look at that. I don't know how long that barrel is.
Yeah, I did look at the configuration of the barrels. They come in a lot of different sizes.
Yeah. So once again, if I mean, a lot of the driven stuff is actually you're not shooting longer range. So it's quite short range. So therefore, some of the driven stuff is actually shorter barrel.
Right, better suited with a shorter barrel.
If you're walking through brush and stuff and you've got moving targets, you don't want a huge, great 26-inch barrel and then another 3 or 4 inches of moderator. You want something nice and short and compact. So if you're in woodland areas, you can just quickly get up to it. So it's,
So what would this be? What's this about? 20,
no,
22?
No. This is I think it's probably about 16 or 18.
Oh, Christ, really?
Oh yeah, it's quite.
What,
short.
from there?
Yeah, from there to there. Yeah, so 18.
I guess you're right. Yeah, 12.
Yeah,
yeah, probably. Yeah,
18. Yeah, it's quite short. So
So you've ever actually owned a rifle one?
No. No, I've shot rifles. I've shot rifles with my dad. My dad does deer stalking. I've shot deer with Paul as well, actually, Paul Childerley, but never actually gone into it myself. I've always wanted to do driven boar, and I always wanted to do it with a shotgun, with slugs, but it's not very widely done. And after using the aim points and watching a lot of the wild boar fevers on YouTube, it's kind of like the rifle seemed the thing that I wanted to do it with. So after watching more and more of that, I started looking at rifles at the British Shooting Show. I applied for my firearm last year and want to, going forward, start driven boar hunting with a rifle.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And this is the one I've chosen.
About just getting, you know, when you actually on a rifle, it's actually
Tim explains some of the basics of rifle care. He covers setup, cleaning, trigger weight, bore sighting and other useful bits and pieces.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
We'll put out those elements as separate items to help any shooters setting up their new rifle. Look for the links below. Time to head to Tim's range to get the Anschutz zeroed and to have a go at that moving target.
not ideal conditions to zero a rifle. But we're in the luxury of a shed, my man shed, or shooting shed anyway. But yes, about 40-mile-an-hour wind out there, and you'll see that red dot move. Right, mate. So we bore sighted, right? So hopefully within that.
Yep.
So we do our first shot, see where it's going to go on that target. Then we clean it. Then we probably start zeroing it as well. So until we put that first shot down, we've got no idea. Well, we know roughly where it's going to be anyway.
Moment of truth.
Yep, that's moment of truth. Windage wise, spot on, and we are about 4 inches high. We're just above the orange.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we've got to do now, we've got to bring the optic down now. So that's a good start. So bolt open, quick clean, then we have another shot. Yeah.
Rightio.
First shot.
Great. A ton less recoil than I'd imagined. I mean, I've heard people say about 308s is going to recoil. My dad says, oh, 308 is going to recoil. But to be honest, I noticed more recoil from a shotgun. It really felt like nothing. I mean, maybe it's different. Maybe it's because it's on a rest at the front. I'm not sure, but in my shoulder, nothing.
It doesn't take long before Wayne's on target and ready for freehand shooting.
I'm naturally quite an aggressive shot.
Right.
So I'll naturally lean into the gun a lot.
Yeah.
So I would be normally sort of there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether that's because the stock's too short or whether I should adopt a more upright stance.
I'll just try and rate. Okay, if you look at yours. I was looking at your stance there, right. So if you compare it to yours to mine, if I was just freehanding, I'll be. So I'm not leaning
very
forward.
upright, yeah.
So I'm literally like that. Yeah. And my top part of my body is this is a frame. So this is the bit which needs to swivel all the time. So I'm not like that. I'm actually probably a lot more upright. And I'm just moving. So if you're leaning forward, it's going to be quite hard for your body to swing. Yeah. I'm actually upright, and therefore my cradle, my frame at the top is actually moving horizontally.
Do you think that's the difference between a shotgun shooter and a rifle
Yeah, I think it
shooter?
will be. I haven't really analysed that, but I think it probably is in some ways. You are very much more upright. Yeah. I think a lot of shotguns do lean a lot
Yeah,
forward.
you lean into the shot.
Yeah. But actually, I will be very much upright. My feet will be kind of shoulder width and a bit apart, and I'll be moving.
Tim's been fortunate enough to attend the Aimpoint Academy and has enjoyed some pretty successful driven hunts using the red dot sight. He's going to give Wayne a sense of what he'll
At that.
experience and still allow the pros to work their magic.
Basically, I'll be looking at the animal
Good catch.
and I'll be just studying that kill zone, the shoulder. I'll be studying all the time. And this red dot's over here somewhere. It doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
As soon as I see the red dot, then I'll start saying, right, I need to bring the red dot, bang.
We
Wow,
finish our
high.
session with Tim's remote-controlled
As
driven
I'm mounted, I
target. The plan is for us to start close and move back.
It's pretty good to me.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one. Felt a good one.
Last 3 shots, 3 kills, no pressure.
Oh, let's try. See, it's that grin. It's that ominous grin.
Kill, 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 kill. Quantity for a first attempt with a moving target with a rifle, that is bloody good. Really? Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's really impressive. I'm looking here, consistency. You know, you're basically consistent within like a 4-inch the elevation wise. Yeah. So which tells me you're swigging through really, really consistently. Yeah. So now, you know, all these just brilliant because obviously your lead is absolutely spot on. So the target's moving. You're staring at that, and that red dot starting over here, and at some stage you've got to pull that trigger, and it's all depending how much lead you want to get, and you go bang, by which time you'll probably find your bullets going to go there. Yeah. So you're anticipating really well. So your lead's perfect as well, so it's really good shooting. Very, very consistent. Now, this consistency is what it's all about, yeah? And you're doing that. So, well done, mate.
Coming from the man himself. Thanks, Tim. I thought it was atrocious, but obviously not.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Going to move the goalpost, Wayne?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I mean, to me, I was thinking, I want it in that every time, but it just doesn't seem to be. It's going to be that's not what they're looking for.
Yeah. Oh, no, at all. No, it's not accuracy. It's about killing, getting that bullet on the kill zone. Yeah. Yeah. It's not this. Yeah. It's that. Yeah. You know, you've got no magnification on that optic whatsoever. So it's basically 1-to-1, and it's all about peripheral vision and just seeing everything around it. And all you're doing is putting a red dot on it. Yeah. It's as simple as that.
For more information about the Anschutz Classic Pro Rifle, go to artemisoutdoorsuk.co.uk. Thanks, Wayne. And he's actually in Sweden right now at the Academy, so good luck to him. And thanks, Tim, too. Now, in this week's Fieldsports Extra, we have a South African, an American, and a Scotsman. We are also giving away 5 pairs of tickets to the National Shooting Show, which is in Harrogate on the 11th and 12th of May 2024. David and I will be there if you can come along. To buy tickets, they are £23.40 each. There's a link below. Easiest way to win a pair of tickets is to watch Fieldsports Extra, which goes out the night before this show only to Fieldsports members and is now with insurance. Easiest way to watch Fieldsports Extra is to join those members. The Fieldsports Nation will send you a goodie box. Our insurance covers you for legal issues over certificate renewal, and all members with or without insurance get free access to our Field Sports Advice Bureau. Yes, it's fab. Our tame lawyer Layla is there to help you with firearms related issues or antis or run-ins with the public when out shooting, whatever it is. Next up, against all advice, it's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. The Scottish Government has been asked to investigate how beer company Brewdog's plans to plant a huge forest at a cost of £690,000 in grant money has failed. The Scottish company planted 250,000 saplings on their Kinrara estate, but half of the trees have now died. They were planted to offset Brewdog's carbon footprint. Brewdog's chief executive James Watt blamed a harsh climate and a hot summer last year for the failure. He's now facing calls from some environmental groups to return the grant money to Scottish Forestry, formerly Forestry Commission Scotland. He says some of the dead saplings have already been replanted and hopes the scheme will still be a success.
What happens now? There has to be some sanction in place. The Scottish Government should be getting involved to look at where this money went, why the failure, which I think is over half of all trees planted, failed, why this happened and what happens now. Because £600,000 is a lot of public money.
While it's okay to plant trees in some places, it seems it's not okay if you're planning to shoot in your wood. That's what Fieldsports member Stephen Houston found when he applied to plant a small copse on his land in Cumbria. Stephen hoped to host small shoots on his farm by planting trees to provide cover for pheasants. He's now been blocked by Natural England, who say planting keepwood woodland for shooting isn't biodiverse enough. Natural England says it's not against shooting, and that its refusal was based on concern about how the shoot would impact nearby wading birds and the creation of a so-called predator shadow.
I presume it's where a predator is in a woodland and they only fly 500, we're 499 metres away, and then turn round and go back to their home because they're not going to fly the full 1,100 metres to the woodland. It's frustrating that the government policy is we plant more trees, but it seems to be, I have an area here where they turned and said, well, you could plant all these trees, all these fields full of trees. And to me, putting small woodland in surely has more biodiversity than one large, huge woodland. And it seems that they're going down the route of huge areas of timber rather than nice, small woods with the wildlife being able to use it.
The National Trust has restored a herd of fallow deer to one of its stately homes after culling it. It reported on social media that it's introduced 26 deer to the grounds of Dereham Park in Gloucestershire. The entire herd was culled in 2021 in order to contain bovine TB. The Trust says it hopes the herd's return will help boost tourism to the 270-acre estate. Facebook has taken down the official page of the British Shooting Show. Show organisers announced the ban on its Instagram page. It says that it's feeling the pinch from censorship. It has asked for people to spread the word without using Facebook. Tens of thousands attended the show in February this year, with a bigger event planned for 2025. There's a call for a Law Commission review into the Wildlife and Countryside Act. The British Hound Sports Association says that the 1981 law is 40 years out of date and needs to be reviewed as part of the build-up to this year's general election. It is lobbying DEFRA to look at the Act. A Law Commission review would make it difficult for future governments to enact wildlife legislation until it's complete. New Zealand's hunters are facing a new legal challenge in their fight to manage a unique species of red deer. The wapiti is a kind of elk introduced to New Zealand from North America. They are successfully controlled by hunting, with around 1,000 a year culled to keep their population stable. Now New Zealand's Forest and Bird Department wants to centralise management of the herds, using public servants instead of hunters to do the management. It's issued a legal challenge against rights to hunt the animals, which pose a threat to local wildlife if left unchecked. A judicial review is underway, with the Fiordland Wapiti Foundation prepared to fight the action in court. Thanks to Nigel Gavin for the story. Poachers in Africa are using new techniques to hide from anti-poaching patrols, including poisoning vultures. The birds are a clear signpost to patrols when they are seen circling above kills like this elephant shot on the banks of the Zambezi River in Zimbabwe. Rangers in Kruger National Park in South Africa say the illegal hunters deploy a poison called aldicarb, which is used as a pesticide in an attempt to cover their tracks by killing the birds. Shot by a poacher who may have been an angry farmer protecting crops, this video of an elephant has been doing the rounds on social media, with commentary from the ranger who found it, telling the story.
And I'm going to put this big stick in here just to show national parks when they get here that there's a bullet hole, and that very far back in its stomach, behind its stomach here, but the angle they would have taken it through its spleen and its liver, which is why it probably swam back. That's the Zambian side. Managed to get back onto the Zimbabwean bank, but that's as far as it got.
Poachers illegally catching fish off the coast of Mauritius have been warned. They're being watched from space. The monitoring operation based at the University of Surrey is using satellite images to keep an eye on illegal fishing. It's giving the Mauritius National Coast Guard access to new satellite imagery to help them with policing an area where poaching is an issue. A fly fisherman has caught what's believed to be the UK's largest rod-caught roach. Graham Wood was fishing for trout at Carsington Reservoir in Derbyshire when he hooked and landed this fish, which was weighed at 4 pounds 13 ounces. If ratified by the British Record Fish Committee, the fish will beat the previous record, a 4 pound 4 ounce roach caught by Keith Berry in Northern Ireland in 2007. And finally, Britain's shooting team for the Paris Olympics 2024 is starting to take shape. Mike Bargeron, a shooting coach from Sevenoaks School in Kent, has won a place to compete in the 50-metre three-position rifle event. Great Britain has already won 5 extra quota places for shooting at the Games, with the chance to win 2 more. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. And he asks if you would do him the favour of liking and subscribing under this film. Next, in the light of what happened to Phil Weymouth last week, link to that below, and with Fieldsports membership and insurance in mind, here is former Metropolitan Police Detective Inspector Ian Jensen with a top tip for your gun cabinet.
Right, suggestion, protect yourself, obviously get the insurance, but as well as that, if, like many shooters, we don't have a safe hidden behind a Picasso in the drawing room, we use your safe with your guns in to store other things. It could be cash, it could be family heirlooms, expensive jewellery, whatever it is. My biggest suggestion is that you take a picture of what is in that safe. You date it and time it and keep that safe on your phone. Because when, as we discussed earlier, those cops come round, they will be two beat cops, maybe get the support of some local firearms officers. They will just want to get out of that safe whatever's in it. So you want to make sure that you have a clear, evidenced photograph of what's in it, and secondly, especially of anything in it that's not a gun. Could be jewellery, could be a Rolex, it could be, I don't know, whatever you keep in there. A lot of people will keep things in there of value because it's the biggest, strongest place in the house. Take a picture of it, shoot your safe, keep that safe, and be able to produce that if the police do come and take it. Because you want to see a list of what they've taken, and you should demand a list exactly outlined, exactly what they've taken, and that should mirror what you had in your safe at the time. It's not their job to turn up, take the guns out, and then let anybody else pick over what was left. That's not their job. Once they open that up and take what's in it, they should be responsible for what's in it. It's not their job to say to a wife, a disgruntled partner, or anything like that, you know, you have all these Rolexes, we'll worry about that later. It's not their job to give it. That's yours. It's in your safe with your guns. So make sure you take a picture of what you keep in it.
Thanks, Ian. And other takeaway coffee brands are available. For more on our membership, now with insurance, go to the link below. Now, our shotgun raffle enters its last full week. It's on the Givergy website. Because Stripe doesn't want to take payments for it, because it's a gun, you can now get free tickets to enter the draw on the Givergy website itself, and we'll invoice you afterwards for them with our own payment link. We started that last week and it's working well. As long as you pay that invoice, you will go into the draw at the end of April 2024. It's a £5 a ticket, and the gun is by Italian maker Fair, F-A-I-R, and it is priced at £1,200. Go to bit.ly/fairraffle. Now, from institutional bias to straight as a die, Terry Doe improves Dan Thor's airgun skills.
I'm here, having watched Dan on a previous video, I'm here to correct him. He's got a few little quirks and foibles because he's a shotgunner and a full-bore rifle shooter, and he's really getting into his air guns, and I'm an air gun shooter. So I'm going to give Dan everything he needs to be as good with an air rifle as he is with a shotgun and a full-bore rifle. Shooting an air rifle successfully relies on one thing: stability. Remember, Dan, in your world of shotguns, you've got multiple projectiles. In your world of full-bore rifles, you've got a couple of 3,000 foot-pounds. Yep. With one of these, you've got 11 and a bit. Okay, non-FAC, superb rifle, unbelievably accurate, RTI arms, P3 compact. This will put a pellet through a wedding ring at 55, 60 yards, if you're good enough. But you need to be stable. And the first thing I'm going to introduce to your world is this set of sticks. Even with the experience I have and the years of doing it, I don't take a hunting shot over 30 yards without being on a stick, and I would take every single shot I can off some sort of support. So we're going to introduce that, and then I'm going to teach you the principles, and at the same time I'm going to correct some of the things I saw on that video. Okay. You up for it?
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
100%.
Brilliant. Right, the first thing we've introduced is stability via the sticks. Get yourself a decent set of sticks. I prefer the three-legged ones, they're more stable, but even a monopod is better than using your magnificent bicep to hold that rifle up shot after shot. Okay, get behind the scope. Okay, use that front hand, rest that nicely, because with the stick you've got a lovely grip down here. What you want to do now is to start relaxing. Okay, so look down the scope, both eyes open if you can. Put your finger on that trigger, lovely two-stage trigger on these. crosshairs in the centre,
Yep.
and squeeze that off. Now that was as firm a hit as you could have, okay? And while you did that, I saw two of the things that you did when you were on your video that we're going to correct them in the next phase.
Okay.
Right, well, that's a good start.
Well.
So we're ready for the next one. Cock the rifle, all the way back, all the way forward. This time, what I want you to do, I want you to keep your eye behind the scope, the trigger back for a second, and then let it go forward.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Right.
Which is what you were doing.
I'm snatching.
On that video. Yeah,
I'm snatching.
You're snatching at the trigger. You don't need to do that. That's introducing all sorts of movement that we don't need. So try it again. Same sort of thing. Nice and relaxed, both eyes open. Brilliant. Tip of the finger on the trigger, that's perfect. Brilliant. You just kept it back for a little while before you released it. There is no benefit at all in going like that, pushing that trigger forward.
Now you're saying it, I can feel the snatch on the first shot where that one's more smooth.
Yeah. Right, let's go for another one. Recock the rifle. All the way back. That's it. Now settle into the shot. And this time I want you to consciously think to get the tension out of here.
Yeah.
All right? What you're doing, this is good. What you've got on here is good. This jack pipe fleece is a good thing because it's going to set up a barrier between your impressive physique and your rifle. This is where your wonderful muscles will let you down, because worst shooting apparel in the world is a vest. Even when it's red hot outside, you go shooting in the vest, because you've got a direct connection between your muscles and your nerves and your twitches and the rifle. Now you want to put a barrier in there.
So put a bit of a padding on it.
You want to put a bit of suppression in there. So whatever you do, wear a gilet, something like this. You can keep your arms free. If you want to be keep yourself cool, wear shorts, unless you're rampaging through brambles or something. But get a buffer zone between you and the rifle. And remember, all this seems complicated now. Both eyes open, trigger tip on the thing. After a while, after repetition, you won't do it any other way.
So would you say
how you do it?
The more tense you are, the more your body would twitch, and the more relaxed you are, the less you
Exactly that. You can't maintain tension.
Yeah.
You can maintain no tension because you're not doing any work. What happens is you start off really tense for the first 2 or 3 shots, and then it starts to relax. So you change the circumstances of you change the way you hold stuff. Let's get behind that scope. Conscious relaxation. So think about relaxing your shoulders, your back. When you're ready, first stage up, nice and relaxed. Perfect. Hold the trigger back. That's good, though, isn't it? That's already.
It's funny though, because when I'm looking at the target on my own, as soon as you're like, right, let's go, I start wobbling. So I think the pressure's on to be hitting the target.
But that, you see, even then, and this is a very, very good point I'd like everybody to consider. If your technique and your stance can stand nerves and tension, you'll still, when you're not nervous, when you're out here on your own, it'll be brilliant. The tension and the nerves will find out a weak stance. So they're good. It's a good thing. We're putting you under a bit of a test here, but always sound technique and a sound stance and sound grip. That's always better to have, because it will stand up to the pressure. Whereas a sloppy technique, especially with these things, they're not the best teachers. A Springer is the best teacher. These things will bring you instant success, but they get you into bad habits. So we're already working. If you carry on doing what we're doing, we've done at least 3 of your previous bad habits.
Thank you, Terry. Like all of us, now with insurance. Next, Kayak Britain gets to grips with Vacpacking.
Yes, so we've got this, again, Weschenfelder sent us this new Vacpacking machine, which is quite handy because my one, I just packed up my old one. It's Italian, so I'm going to say...
Give it a go.
Trespade. Would you agree? Was it Trespade? Trespade.
Let's go for Trespade.
Trespade. Aside from that, I've got the rest of this salt venison. I'm just going to thinly slice, and I'm going to have that this week for my lunch. So I'm going to vacuum seal it. One of the really good things about Vacpacking food as well is if you can stack things in your freezer or neater. So if you stack them flat, I did a big batch of game pie with all the pheasants and some of the venison I shot this season, and I just froze them down in little wedges, and that works absolutely fantastic. So if you look at these bags here, they're quite clever. So one side, it's just smooth. The other side, it's got lots of like bubbles on them. And what that does is it delays the moisture coming to the top. So when you backpack,
those kind of the textured bobbles slow the process of bringing the kind of the liquids to the top. Because if you start getting liquids out the top, then you're not going to get a good seal, you know, because it melts it shut at the end and you're not going to get a good seal. So these bags are really, really good. So I've got my venison in the bag. I'm now going to pop it in. So you put the end into that little groove here. The good thing about these little kind of troughs is if moisture does go in or liquids, you can just pull them out and just wash them, which is brilliant. So you want to make sure there's no creases, nothing in the seal. Keep it flat. And then make sure that end of it goes into the trough there. Then press it down, and then you're going to apply pressure where the bag is with my thumbs. Like that. You can see that sucked it all in. You can see now some of the moisture is going up, but it's being slowed down. And it runs through a process now where it's going to start sealing it. Then once that's done, it's going to turn off like that. Then you can see then that's got a perfect seal. That's constant, it's not interrupted. And you've got your bag of sliced salt venison there, which works absolutely perfect.
Thanks, Kai. Next, from frozen venison to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, brought to you by James Marchington, it's Hunting YouTube.
This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the latest and best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Here's my pick of this week's crop. First up, in South Africa, Peter from Impact Shooting is hunting baboons to protect the crops, shooting them at extreme range in the rocks and trees. Tori Cook is using a diaphragm mouthcall to bring in coyotes to a shotgun in the woods, and manages to get 2 with 1 shot. Next, if you ever need to tackle an Alaskan grizzly bear, Ron Spomer is getting some expert advice from a guide who has a lifetime of first-hand experience. Back to the UK, and in the latest of his new series, Chef Mike Robinson is stalking Muntjac and cooking up a feast with a loin of roe deer. Johnny Carter of TGS Outdoors has got his hands on the new Browning 525 composite. He goes through its features on the bench, adds a couple of spacers and a balancing kit, then tries it on clays at Barbary Shooting Ground. Next up, Paul Hodson from Hick Micro is out after rats at his friend's small holding, using a couple of air rifles and all the latest thermal gear. After a bit of a break, Wash Wildfowler is back with a new video. In this one, he's treated himself to a new Coffs 410 and can't wait to take it out of the box and join his mate Carl in a pigeon hide. Finally this week, here's a fascinating BBC Two documentary from 1974, filmed around Beccles in Suffolk and featuring the life of gunsmith Lindsay Tilney. Well, that's it for this week. I've put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the I symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you'd like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, jamesm@fieldsportschannel.tv.
And that's it for this week. If you haven't done so already, please whiz over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. You can click to like us there on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, pop your email address into our register page and we'll contact you about this show. Fieldsports Britain is at 7 PM UK time every Wednesday. And this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.